Hello, the purpose of this video is to show you how My Writing Lab works for students. The first thing you'll see in My Writing Lab is what you're seeing right now is the course homepage. Everything in My Writing Lab you can navigate over here through the left-hand navigation bar, and the first page that you're brought to is this course homepage, where students will see what they need to do in their course. So the first thing you see here under Writing is Build Your Learning Path and Take the Path Builder. The way My Writing Lab works is students take a path builder, which is a diagnostic pretest that will assess what they know and what they don't know, and then each student will receive their own individualized learning path. So the first step to do here is to take the path builder. So we're just going to go in and take this path builder. And for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to submit the path builder. I'm not going to go through and answer everything and take up time doing that, but I'm going to go ahead and take the test or submit the test. And what this does is creates my individualized learning path. Now, if I had done well on my path builder and had answered some questions correctly, I may have mastered some modules. Obviously, I didn't answer any questions, so I didn't master anything. So you'll see a key here that shows you if you see a pencil next to something, it means that you need to study it. And if you see a star, it's something that's mastered. Obviously, I didn't do well, so I need to study everything. Everything has a pencil by it. But you'll see that there's 8 modules, and if we click on the learning path, this will take us to our learning path here. So the first step up here says complete your path builder, has a green check mark by it. So we know we've taken that. I'm going to skip down. I'll explain what all this up here means in a minute, but I'm going to skip down to this study by module to show you that I have 8 modules. Each one of them have the pencil up here in the right hand corner of it indicating that I need to work in that module. And students can go in and work within the modules. So if I click on the basic grammar module here, I'll see a list of topics that are included in the basic grammar module, and then the activities that need to be completed within that. Again, you'll see your key over here, whether it's something that has been mastered or needs to be studied. Again, I could have mastered some of these things on my path builder had I taken my time and actually answered some questions correctly. But each topic you'll see includes an overview, an animation, some practice activities, how to apply your learning, write, and a post-test. If I click to a different one, you'll see what the options are here. So what these are, and we'll just open some up, an overview. Here students can read about articles as well as play a video and listen to what they're reading here. This will read out the activity to them.
Pronounced consonant. Indefinite article. We told the attorney that Jim was also an heir to the estate.
So once students have completed this, they can submit it. And they go back to their learning path and they will see that they have mastered the overview, and they go on to the animation, which is another activity to prepare them to start working within the practices. So the practice, you'll see students have in this one 10 questions, excuse me, and as they go through, they'll have some questions to answer, and these are things that they should have learned about in the overview and the animation. So if students get here and they get stuck and they're not sure what the answer is or where they need to go, they can link back to the animation. They have a glossary. There's also a tab for Ask My Instructor. This can be turned off if you don't want this used, but students can click this Ask My Instructor button and they will email you a link to this question and tell you what it is that they're not understanding, and you'll be able to see where students are getting confused. They can also print the questions. And as they're working, they can check their answer. So if I get it correct, I'm told that I got it correct. And if I go on, if I get something incorrect, well, of course I would guess well here. So if I get something incorrect, I'm told why it's incorrect and given an example of what may be the correct answer, and I can go back and change my answer and do a final check if I get it correct, I'm told that I've gotten it correct. And then I can go on, keep working through and submit the activity. So going back to our learning path, all these are activities that prepare us for the post-test. Students go through and they take a post-test, which are similar to the practice activities we just saw. They'll be given 10 questions. The difference here is they don't have that check your answer option. This is more of a post-test for mastery. So you can go through and answer questions, submit the questions, and students get feedback on their answers here. Obviously, again, I didn't do very well. If we go back to our learning path, you'll see that students get 2 attempts at the post-test. So if I go through like I did the first time and make a 0% or not do very well on it, I can go back and work my way through these activities again to get more help and then try the post-test a second time. So going back to our learning path, we worked down here in the study by module section earlier, but there's also a feature in here, our Newton Adaptive Learning feature, which is this yellow box right here. What this is this guides students to the next most logical step for them to take. So instead of students just going in and working anywhere within the modules, this will guide them to work on what's the most logical thing for them to do next, based on what they've learned, what they've done in their path builder, and what they've done so far in their learning path. This can be turned off if you want students staying with you at a certain pace or working on certain things at certain times. That option can be turned off, but it's a great option to have for students if they're going to be working in my writing lab at their own pace. So the final step in the learning path part of, or the writing skills part of my writing lab, is a mastery check. So after students have taken their path builder and they've gotten their own individualized learning path and then worked their way through the learning path and all the activities in the learning path, the final thing they do is take the mastery check. So this is, again, similar to something like the path builder, except it's the final test for the class. Students go through, answer questions, submit it, and then you have something that shows where students started out in the class and then where they ended up, and you can compare some grades, that kind of thing. May be helpful for reporting features. So some other things within my writing lab, we've mostly looked at the writing skills section, but there are study skills, a study skills section. So students can work in here to work on things like time management, effective note taking, that sort of thing. Again, you'll see similar stuff that you saw in the writing skills section. They'll have a list of topics and then activities to work on within each topic. My writing lab, if you're using my writing lab with a textbook, you may have an e-text option. Most of our textbooks do have an e-text option. So the e-text isn't just a standard PDF e-text. It's actually fully searchable. Students can search by topic up here. We can go to a certain page and read through each page. This is a great option for students if they are on the go a lot, maybe not have their textbook with them. There's the Pearson app where they can open their e-text on iPad. This is available on computer, everything else. Students can take notes or highlight by using the functions at the top of the screen. You can highlight something or take a note. And have their notes for later. There's lots of things they can do within the e-text. One other really cool thing that students have access to within my writing lab is Pearson Tutor Services. This gives students 3 free submissions to tutors within Pearson Tutor Services. All of our tutors have at least a master's degree, and students will receive their response. I think the average time is between 12 and 48 hours. I think actually the average, I believe, is 24 hours. Here it says they would receive a response within 12 to 48 hours. So this is another option that students have within My Writing Lab. The important thing to know here is you can customize this pretty much in any way that you want. So if you see things over here that you may not use, say you wouldn't use the study skills section, we can go up here using this modify button and remove that. If you wouldn't use the multimedia or the My Search Lab or something else within here, we can remove things to make it fit your course and make it as simple for students as possible. Let me know if you have any questions, and thanks for watching this video about My Writing Lab.